8 lessons to avoid. Giving a second chance. Why do we continue investing in people who drain us even when we know we deserve better? Have you ever felt trapped in relationships that, instead of strengthening you, only wear you out? As if, despite all your efforts, you're not receiving what you truly deserve. Perhaps you've asked yourself why we keep clinging to people and situations that drain our energy and suffocate our essence. Today, I invite you on a transformative journey where we will discover how you can free yourself from these chains and finally live a life where you are truly valued. Are you ready to take this first step towards your emotional freedom? Let's start by recognizing your worth. Have you ever stopped to think about how much you're really worth? I'm not talking about your worth based on external achievements like a good job, a romantic relationship, or others' opinions. I'm talking about your intrinsic value, the one that doesn't depend on anything or anyone. Recognizing this value is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. And do you know why? Because when you understand your value, you stop seeking external validation. Others' opinions, criticisms, and even compliments begin to weigh less on you. This doesn't mean you won't listen to what others have to say, but rather that you won't allow others' opinions to define who you are. Imagine a scenario. You're in a relationship where you constantly need to prove your worth. It could be a partner who is never satisfied, or a boss who never recognizes your effort. If you don't know your value, you'll end up accepting less than you deserve because you believe you need their approval to feel complete. On the other hand, when you stand firm in your value, you can set healthy boundaries. Boundaries that not only protect what is most precious to you, but also serve as a beacon guiding others on how you expect to be treated. And it's not just about romantic or professional relationships, but about all the interactions you have in your daily life. And what happens when you constantly reaffirm your value? The magic begins. You attract people and situations that are in tune with what you truly deserve. Your energy changes, your confidence grows, and opportunities naturally arise. But here's an important point. Recognizing your own worth is not arrogance. It's an act of self-love, of respect for yourself. It's understanding that regardless of what you do or what others think, you are already enough just as you are. It's a liberating feeling that opens doors to a more authentic and fulfilling life. So I invite you to reflect. Have you been recognizing your worth? Have you been treating yourself with the respect you deserve? Have you set clear boundaries in your relationships? If the answer is no, maybe it's time to start doing so now. After all, you deserve all the love, respect, and admiration that first and foremost come from yourself. By recognizing and reaffirming your worth, you take the crucial first step toward a fuller life. But sometimes, for this value to flourish, it's necessary to let go of things that hold us back in the past. And this is where the concept of healthy detachment comes in. Let's understand how letting go of what no longer serves you can open doors to new opportunities and a lighter life. Have you ever felt like you're holding on to something you know deep down you should let go of? Maybe it's a relationship that has run its course, a friendship that is no longer healthy, or even an expectation that keeps you tied to a past that no longer exists. We've all been there, and this is where the importance of healthy detachment comes into play. Detachment is not simply cutting ties and moving on in a cold and calculated way. On the contrary, it involves deep reflection on what truly adds value to your life and what is actually draining your energy. It's a way of protecting your inner peace while at the same time cultivating emotional self-sufficiency that allows you to live more lightly and consciously. Let's think of a practical example. Imagine you're in a relationship where you constantly feel drained, whether from excessive demands, lack of reciprocity, or simply because your paths have diverged. Continuing to insist on this relationship may lead to a state of constant frustration and emotional exhaustion. What you're holding on to, perhaps out of fear of the unknown or attachment to what once was, is preventing you from growing and finding new opportunities. Letting go of something like this is not easy, but it is necessary. And it starts with accepting reality, understanding that people change, feelings evolve, and everything has a cycle. When you accept this, the next step is forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for holding on for so long, forgiving the other for not meeting your expectations, and most importantly, forgiving the past so you can move forward. Healthy detachment is also an act of self-love. It's recognizing that your inner peace is worth more than any relationship that brings more pain than joy. When you detach healthily, you create space for new and better things in your life. And more importantly, you learn to be self-sufficient, not relying on anyone to be happy or to feel complete. So I ask you, is there something in your life that you need to let go of? A relationship, a feeling, an expectation that no longer serves you? Remember that healthy detachment is not about abandonment, but about freedom. Freedom to be who you really are, to live according to your values, and to cultivate a peace that comes from within. Give yourself permission to let go of what no longer adds value, to forgive and to move on. Because in the end, healthy detachment is a gift you give yourself. A gift of peace, emotional self-sufficiency, and new possibilities. And you? Are you ready to let go and make space for the new? By letting go of what no longer serves you, you create space to live more authentically and in alignment with who you truly are. And being authentic is the next step in our journey. Let's explore how living your truth can transform your relationships and bring a deep sense of freedom. Have you ever found yourself trying to fit into a mold that isn't yours just to please others or be accepted? All of us, at some point, have felt pressured to be something we're not, whether at work, in relationships, or even in social life. But the truth is that living this way, out of sync with who we really are, is a sure path to dissatisfaction and emotional exhaustion. That's why today I want to talk about the importance of cultivating authenticity. Being authentic is living according to your values, beliefs, and above all, your essence. It's having the courage to show the world exactly who you are, without masks, without trying to please or follow expectations that don't resonate with your true self. And do you know what's most interesting? When you live authentically, you begin to attract people and situations that truly respect and value who you are. Think of the last time you felt genuinely connected with someone. It was probably because you were able to be yourself, without needing to pretend or hide parts of yourself. This genuine connection only happens when we are authentic. When we set aside the need to please and allow ourselves to be seen as we really are, we begin to attract relationships based on mutual respect and appreciation of our true essence. But being authentic is not always easy. In a world that often values conformity, staying true to yourself can seem challenging. Sometimes it can mean going against the current, saying no when everyone expects a yes, or choosing a less popular path. However, it is precisely this authenticity that makes a difference. It's what allows you to live a life that is truly yours, not one shaped by others' expectations. Moreover, authenticity brings with it a deep sense of freedom. Freedom to be who you are, to follow your values, to speak your truth, even if it's not the most comfortable for others. And this freedom is what leads you to build a life that resonates with what you truly desire and believe in. So, how about starting to cultivate this authenticity in your daily life? Do an exercise in self-reflection. What are your values? What truly matters to you? And most importantly, have you been living according to these values? If the answer is no, it might be time to reevaluate your choices and begin aligning your life with what you truly believe in. Remember, being authentic is not about being perfect. It's about being true. It's about allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to show your flaws, and still know that you are enough just as you are. And when you live with this authenticity, you not only improve your own life, but also inspire others to do the same. Therefore, I encourage you to embrace your authenticity. Live according to who you truly are. Follow your values and watch as your life begins to align with the things that truly matter. because in the end, authenticity brings an inner strength that can only be sustained by emotional resilience. When you are true to yourself, you also need to be prepared to face challenges with balance and strength. Let's now discover how to strengthen this emotional resilience to navigate adversities with confidence and serenity. Life presents us with constant challenges, especially in relationships. It could be a romantic disappointment, a broken friendship, or even a family crisis. In moments like these, what keeps us standing is our emotional resilience. But what exactly does it mean to have emotional resilience? Emotional resilience is the ability to face adversities without being overwhelmed, to rise after falls, and to learn from difficulties. It's the inner strength that helps us maintain our emotional integrity even when the world around us seems to be falling apart. And the best part is that this resilience can be developed and strengthened over time, with practices that help us take care of ourselves and build a solid foundation to handle life's ups and downs. One of these essential practices is self-compassion. How many times have you been hard on yourself in moments of failure or difficulty? Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend. Instead of criticizing yourself, you allow yourself to feel and understand that everyone goes through difficult times. This self-care is fundamental for developing resilience because it creates a safe internal space where you can process your emotions without judgment. Another powerful tool is mindfulness. In a world where we are constantly worried about the future or dwelling on the past, mindfulness teaches us to be present in the now. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of our emotions and thoughts without being dominated by them. This gives us the clarity needed to deal with challenges more balanced and less reactive. And of course, no resilience is complete without a positive support network. Having people you trust, who support and understand you, is essential to overcoming difficult times. This support network can be formed by friends, family, or even support groups where you find empathy and understanding. Knowing that you are not alone in your struggles is a great relief and an inexhaustible source of strength. But strengthening emotional resilience doesn't mean becoming invulnerable. We will all feel pain, sadness, and disappointment at some point. What resilience does is give us the tools to deal with these emotions healthily without letting them define us. It allows us to face the storms with the certainty that even if the boat rocks, it won't sink. So I ask you, what have you been doing to strengthen your emotional resilience? Have you practiced self-compassion, allowed yourself to live in the present and sought support when necessary? If not, maybe it's time to start incorporating these practices into your life. Remember, emotional resilience is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And with this strength, you'll be prepared to face any challenge life throws at you, always maintaining your emotional integrity and well-being. Strengthening your emotional resilience is crucial for facing challenges, but it's also important to be selective about where and with whom you invest your energy. Let's explore how the art of being selective can protect your emotional health and ensure that you are surrounded only by what truly matters. Have you ever stopped to think about how time is your most precious resource? And more than that, how your energy is limited and valuable? In a world where we are all constantly busy, knowing where and with whom to invest that time and energy is a true art. The art of being selective. Being selective doesn't mean being cold or distant. On the contrary, it's a form of constant self-evaluation where you ask yourself, what really matters to me in a relationship? What values do I cherish in a friendship, in a partner, or even in professional connections? When you start asking these questions, you realize that you don't need and shouldn't say yes to everything and everyone. The ability to say no is one of the most powerful you can develop. And as challenging as it may seem, it is essential to maintaining your emotional and mental health. When you say no to something that isn't aligned with your values or that doesn't bring something positive to your life, You are actually saying yes to yourself, yes to your well-being, yes to your dreams, yes to relationships that truly nurture you. Imagine that you are a garden. The people and situations you allow into your life are like the plants you decide to cultivate in that garden. Some will bloom, bringing color and joy, while others may turn into weeds, sucking up nutrients and leaving the soil barren. It's up to you to choose what to plant, and more importantly, what to remove so that your garden can grow strong and healthy. This selectiveness is not about elitism, but about preserving your vital energy. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be surrounded by people and experiences that uplift you, inspire you, and help you be the best version of yourself. And for that, it takes courage to say no when necessary, and wisdom to identify what is truly worthwhile. So how can you start practicing the art of being selective? First, do an honest self-assessment. What are the non-negotiable values for you? What qualities do you most value in a relationship? From these answers, begin to observe the people around you. Who truly brings something positive into your life? Who challenges you to grow healthily? And who might be just draining your energy? Remember, being selective isn't being selfish, it's being conscious. It's understanding that to live a full life, you need to surround yourself with people and situations that feed your soul, that bring growth and joy. And in the end, this is an act of self-love. So I invite you to practice this selectiveness with care and attention. Say yes to what nurtures your soul and no to what doesn't add value to your life. Because in the end, the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. And are you ready to be selective and invest only in what truly matters? By being selective, you take another step to protect something even more precious, your inner peace. Let's talk now about how to defend that peace, even in a world full of pressures and demands, so that you can live with serenity and balance. In a world full of noise, pressures and demands, preserving your inner peace can seem like an almost impossible task. However, protecting that peace is essential to your emotional and mental well-being. It's like defending a sanctuary within yourself, where you can retreat from negative external influences and find balance. But how exactly can we defend this peace amid chaos? The answer starts with self-control. Practicing self-control doesn't mean repressing your emotions or becoming insensitive to what happens around you. On the contrary, it's about learning to manage your reactions and choosing how you respond to challenges that arise. One of the most effective ways to develop this self-control is through meditation and mindfulness. These practices help you cultivate a state of presence where you become aware of the present moment without being carried away by the thoughts and emotions that arise. When you meditate regularly, you begin to notice that many of the worries and stresses that consume your mind aren't as urgent or important as they seem. This gives you the clarity and calm needed to maintain your peace even in challenging situations. Another crucial tool for defending your peace is setting clear boundaries. Often we allow people or situations to invade our emotional space, causing discomfort and imbalance. Setting boundaries is a way of communicating to the world what you accept and what you don't accept in your life. And it's not just about saying no when necessary, but also about being firm in your convictions and protecting your time and energy. Imagine your inner peace is like a garden. If you don't tend to it, the weeds, represented by negative influences, will spread and choke the flowers you value so much. It's up to you to protect this garden by watering it with practices that promote well-being, like meditation, and surrounding it with boundaries that keep out what doesn't contribute to your growth. Defending your peace is an act of self-love and respect for yourself. When you prioritize your peace, you become more resilient, more centered, and more capable of facing life's challenges with serenity. You learn not to be shaken by external situations and to maintain a state of calm and clarity, even amid storms. So I ask you, what have you been doing to protect your inner peace? Have you practiced self-control? Have you set clear boundaries with the people around you? If the answer is no, maybe it's time to start integrating these practices into your life. Remember, your peace is sacred. Don't let anything or anyone steal it from you. Defend it with the same determination you would defend something of great value, because in the end, your inner peace is the foundation of a balanced and happy life. And you? Are you ready to protect your inner sanctuary and live with more serenity? Protecting your peace is essential, but this is only possible when you cultivate solid self-confidence. Let's now discover how to develop this self-confidence, which is the key to standing firmly in all situations and living according to your true value. Imagine how your life would be if you had unshakable self-confidence, that inner certainty that you are capable of facing any challenge, that you deserve respect, and that you can achieve what you set out to do. Cultivating this self-confidence is essential to recognizing your worth and standing firmly against any form of disrespect. Self-confidence doesn't come out of nowhere. It's built day by day from small actions and decisions that reinforce your belief in yourself. The first step in this process is self-acceptance. Accepting who you are with all your qualities and imperfections is the foundation of self-confidence. When you fully accept yourself, you no longer need to seek external validation or try to be something you're not. You begin to understand that regardless of the circumstances, you are enough. But self-confidence also strengthens as you face challenges. Every time you encounter a difficult situation and decide to face it, you're training your mind to believe in yourself more. These moments, no matter how challenging, serve as proof of your potential. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Setting personal goals is another powerful practice for cultivating self-confidence. When you set goals and work to achieve them, you not only prove to yourself what you're capable of, but also build a track record of small victories that reinforce your self-esteem. These goals don't have to be grandiose. Even small achievements like learning a new skill or improving something you already do can have a big impact on your sense of value. And why is self-confidence so crucial? Because it's what gives you the strength to stand up against disrespectful treatment. When you know your value, you don't allow anyone to treat you as inferior. You learn to say no firmly, to set clear boundaries, and to walk away from situations or people who don't respect who you are. So how can you start cultivating this self-confidence? First, practice self-acceptance. Acknowledge your qualities, celebrate your achievements, and be kind to yourself regarding your flaws. Then, face the challenges that come your way, knowing that each one is an opportunity to strengthen yourself. And finally, set goals that motivate you and work to achieve them step by step. Remember, self-confidence is a journey, not a destination. It's something you build over time with patience and dedication, and by doing so, you not only transform the way you see yourself, but also the way the world sees you. Because a confident person who knows their value radiates an undeniable energy and inspires respect. With growing self-confidence, you're ready to take an even deeper step, embracing emotional independence. Let's explore how you can cultivate this independence to live a life where your well-being depends above all on yourself. Imagine living a life where your emotional well-being doesn't depend on others' approval, company, or behavior. This is the essence of emotional independence, the ability to maintain your inner peace and happiness regardless of what happens around you. But how can we develop this emotional independence, and why is it so crucial to our well-being? Emotional independence begins with self-awareness. Knowing yourself deeply is the first step to not depending on others to validate your feelings or decisions. When you become aware of your emotions, thoughts, and reactions, you begin to understand what really motivates you and what destabilizes you. This clarity allows you to take control of your emotions instead of being driven by them. The practice of self-sufficiency is the next step on this path. Being self-sufficient doesn't mean living in isolation or denying the importance of human connections, but rather developing the ability to find satisfaction and fulfillment within yourself. It's about cultivating interests, hobbies, and passions that nourish you, regardless of the presence or approval of others. When you feel complete with yourself, the relationships you form are based on true connection and mutual respect, not on unmet needs or dependencies. Setting and maintaining firm personal boundaries is also fundamental to emotional independence. These boundaries are what protect your energy and emotional space. When you clearly define what is acceptable and what isn't in your relationships, you avoid being sucked into toxic dynamics or emotional manipulations. Maintaining these boundaries is an act of self-respect and a powerful way to affirm your independence. But why is this emotional independence so important? Because it frees you from the constant need for external validation. You no longer have to worry about what others think or feel incomplete if you're alone. This doesn't mean you'll isolate yourself or stop valuing your relationships, but rather that you'll learn to relate more healthily and balanced without placing unrealistic expectations on others. So how can you start embracing this emotional independence? First, practice self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your emotions, thought patterns, and how they affect your actions. Then cultivate self-sufficiency by finding joy in activities you do on your own, not just in the company of others. Finally, set clear boundaries and have the courage to maintain them, even when it's difficult. Embrace emotional independence as a continuous journey where you become the main responsible for your well-being and happiness. And remember, by doing so, you'll be creating a solid foundation for all your relationships, built on respect, authenticity, and above all, self-love. And you, are you ready to embrace this emotional independence and live a life where your well-being primarily depends on you? After exploring each of these fundamental steps, you're more prepared than ever to live authentically and fully. Remember, you are the author of your own story. Don't let anyone define your worth or limit your potential. Every decision you make, every boundary you set, is a step toward a fuller and more authentic life. If this content was helpful to you, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. And of course, share your experiences in the comments. Your story can inspire others who are also seeking growth and transformation. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.